countdown to the last comic shop in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's now time for more of the last comic shop,
where we open the shop up to newbies in order to help them find their way under the comic book tent.
And we keep the lights on for the oldies who want to level up by learning about new comic books and stuff.
And I'm the host with the most, Andy Larson, and I'm joined by Chad Smith and J.A. Scott. And I'm glad you dropped the term level up, because that's what we'll be doing on today's program, because it's a comic book / video game extravaganza as we're reviewing Batman Fortnite 0. Or something. Yeah, that's today's book on the Last Comic Shop, and we've got a special treat for all of our listeners. It's a segment we've wanted to do for a really long time. It is now time for the first ever Panel Pals! Yes, it's a Last Comic Shop exclusive where we talk with the kids, those young comic book readers out there that are getting their feet wet in the grand world of comic books, and we've got a special junior correspondent on today's program. It is the wonderful Alex Scott. That's right, J.A. Scott's own son has joined us on today's program, not only to talk about this terrific comic book, but to school us oldies on this game called Fortnite.
There is a lot of schooling needed.
That's right. We have lots of questions, Alex. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Okay, so this whole Fortnite thing. This is a game I've never played before in my life. I don't understand it. Can you give me a rundown? What are the basics that we would need to know to understand the world of Fortnite?
When you start Fortnite, you always have a random skin.
Okay. What the heck is a skin?
Just something to wear and look cool. Some are reactive when you do something. When you get elimination, you glow or something. But when you're in the lobby, you can pick games. You can pick solo, duos, trios, and squads, and Team Rumble. And every time you play those games, you always start in the starting area, and you have to wait for everyone to load in. And if everyone's loaded in, there will be a timer until that timer ends. You're in the battle bus, which you use to drop on the island.
Okay. I've seen the toy of the battle bus.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
And the battle bus changes directions randomly, but it's always going straight.
Okay. So how many people can play at one time on is it like 50?
The island is very huge, so they say 100 players.
Wow. Have you ever been in a game with 100 people, or are they mostly bots?
Mostly real people, but some are like AIs.
Okay.
All right. Now wait. You were talking about how different skins have different advantages. So, some people get to be the giant banana guy, that Peely, and other people get to be the visitor, the Voyager, or whatever. Yeah. What's the difference? Why would I want to be a giant banana as opposed to a cool-looking, mysterious
Some people say food skins are like meme skins. They always say they have built-in emotes and built-in emotes are the only emotes you can use with that skin.
So it's all about individuality. You want to be food because food is cool, and you're making a statement about being food. You're like, I'm not a pork chop, I'm a banana. This is
There's always money in the banana mans.
That's right. What's your favorite skin?
I would say the fish skin.
The fish skin. Tell us about the fish skin.
Is that like fish sticks?
Yes.
In the book? Okay. Yes. He was a character in this book we're going to be reviewing today. So Fish Sticks is your favorite? That's awesome, because he was my favorite too. So what does Fish Sticks have any special powers? Is he able to?
So every skin in Fortnite, they don't have a special ability. They have built-in emotes, they have selectable styles, they have reactive stuff. But the animal skins are the mostly skins that look dumb. They call it meme skins.
Oh, okay. Because they look like comedy stuff.
Yes, and Fish Stick is a meme skin.
So if I understand you correctly, basically, regardless of the skin you have the same abilities. It doesn't make you a better shooter or but so when you eliminate somebody, it reacts differently. So it has a flashing or it dances or something.
All right. So I have another question about all these skins, because I'm a dad. And so I worry about letting my kid play this game. how do you get new skins? Is it all you have to make your parents pay for it, or can you earn them through the game?
Yes, V-Bucks are like the money in this game.
The in-game money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you earn in-game money, like mowing in-game lawns and doing in-game chores, or how do you get V-Bucks?
You only get V-Bucks for using real money, but if you do challenges, you get XP or rewards.
Okay, so can you get some of the skins via rewards if you do really well on a particular challenge or something?
There's this thing called the Battle Pass where you have to pay.
But you can get skins without paying, right?
Yes, some skins are free.
But you can build up credits in the game and buy stuff. Because that's what you do. I don't give you money to buy stuff.
Because the smart thing I would do if I got 1,000 V-Bucks, I would buy the Battle Pass because the Battle Pass has V-Bucks in it and skins.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
see, what I would do if I had 1,000 V-Bucks, I would invest half of it in low-risk mutual funds. And then I'd take the other half over to my friend Asadullah, who works in securities.
Oh, man.
Some nice low-risk V-Buck investments. Good plan. Invest in a nice 403B V-Buck.
And then there's an item shop where you can buy skins, pickaxe, emotes, and bundles. And that's where you spend V-Bucks.
So I've got a couple questions about the general game dynamic. So again, it's a shooter, like it's that particular style. Is it first person or is it third person? Like can you or can you pick? Okay, it's third person. You can't switch between the two. You have to play as third person.
Yes, only third person.
Okay, awesome. In the comic book, they were dealing with a lot of pink fog.
The pink fog, that's the storm.
Oh, the storm. What does the storm do? It seems to have wiped Batman's memory, but what does it do in the game? Does it wipe your memory? Can you not remember your algebra?
No, it damages you. The more these things called safe zones, where if you stay in that zone, the storm won't go there.
Okay.
But if you go in the storm, you'll take damage, but the more circles the storm goes to, that's the more damage it'll do.
So the object of the game is to stay in the circle and to be the last person in the circle?
Yes. If there's only like 2 people left in the game, the storm will not disappear and the circle will shrink until there's no more circle. But if someone kills the last person, they get the victory.
Oh, very good.
And there's always these things called seasons. Every month there's a new season and a new battle pass and a new map.
Wow. Now on these maps, you can build forts? That's where the word fort comes from?
You can use your pickaxe to mine wood, brick, and metal. That's
like Minecraft? It's like a combination of Minecraft, and that's kind of a neat thing. I didn't know that part.
And then when it was season 5, they added gold bars, and there's NPCs. If you talk to an NPC, you can spend your gold bars, and they can tell you where the next circle is. They can give you challenges. They can give you a gun. You can hire them as your bodyguard.
That's awesome.
They can be your Kevin Costner. That's great.
For getting gold, you can do bounties, search chests, or eliminate players.
That's crazy. Who's your favorite NPC?
There's not really a lot of NPCs I like.
On the wrong side of those bounties a lot, are you, Alex?
I see. Well, so it sounds like it's a little bit of a combination of building, It's a
building, shooting, and surviving game.
Okay. Yeah, because the whole notion of the circle and being the last person in the circle, it sounds like that old game King of the Hill, where you got to be on top of the hill and you got to defend the hill at all costs. People run up the hill, but you got to knock them down. It sounds really neat.
Kids have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
Who's playing King of the Hill?
Is that an Xbox? Is that a Sega game? What are you talking about?
At Panel Pals, we're here to educate. Well, now that we've got some of the basics of Fortnite down, time to get to our review of Batman Fortnite 0 Point, because I want to also know if there's a 0 point too. did it. I think talking about the comic book will help us illustrate some of these additional questions. So we'll be right back after these commercial breaks with more Last Comic Shop and more Panel Pals with our junior comic book correspondent, Alex Scott. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, this is Nerd Bomber here, one of the co-hosts of the Online Warriors podcast. Our weekly podcast started as a way for three friends to keep in touch and discuss their passion for movies, gaming, technology, and entertainment. And since then, we've grown into a fantastic online community. Every Wednesday, we release a new episode discussing the latest nerdy news, and then we go hands-on with our weekly adventures and a fun trivia show. Sound interesting? Check us out on every podcast platform, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or hit us up at onlinewarriorspodcast.com.
Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto, all things that we love, all manga that were originally published in the legendary magazine Weekly Shonen Jump.
But not every series can run for 300 chapters and have a hit anime. This is David.
This is Jordan.
We're the hosts of Shonen Flop. Each episode we look at manga that ran in Jump that didn't quite make it.
We discuss what it did wrong, what it did right, how the series could have turned itself around, and ultimately, was it a flop or not?
We're on all your favorite podcast apps, and you can find us at shonenflop.com.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
All right, we're back with more of The Last Comic Shop, and it is now time for our Read Pile Review. Yes, that wonderful time on every single show where we have read a comic book, and we're going to tell you about it. But of course, it's Panel Pals. So we've got Alex Scott, J.A. Scott's wonderful son, on today's program to help us talk about this week's book, which is Batman, Fortnite, 0 Point. And J.A., Alex, do you want to tell us about who did this book and some details about where it came from?
Sure. So, 0 Point story consultant was Donald Mustard, so I'm assuming that he came from the Fortnite world. Written by Christos Gage, with pencils by Riley Brown, inks by Nelson Faro de Castro, and coloring John Callins, and covers by Mikkel Janin. And then they had some variant covers and premium things.
They also had Christian Duce chipping in for issues 4 and 5 on art duties.
All right. So, yeah, that again, there have been video game comic book tie-ins in the past. You know, again, I can think as far back as the 1980s with Atari Force for them old people. Because, again, Panel Pals is about education. There was this old thing called Atari. Yeah, that's all we had when we were young. But anyways, the Scotts, what did you guys think of, like, the bringing Batman and Catwoman and Deathstroke into this Fortnite world and kind of making this licensed tie-in comic?
So, Alex, what did you think of? Because you knew that Batman was a skin in the game,
yes.
So now you understand where it came from. What did you think of the tie-in?
The tie-in, it would make perfect sense that Batman is action person. He always defeats the crime. It would be a very good thing for Fortnite to collab with him.
Mm-hmm.
They collabed with him years ago already, but now they wanted him with an armored version.
Mm-hmm. So what I like about it, and I think this is where Fortnite gets it right, is they do these tie-ins and collaborations with other properties. Like they had Marvel Avengers when the Endgame was coming out. They had
DC, Star Wars, and
right, Mandalorian. I know Alex had a Mandalorian skin. That he was big on that when the second season of Mandalorian came out. So Epic Games, that's the guys who make Fortnite. They're really good at sort of, they have their finger on the pulse of some of the other big properties and bringing them into the Fortnite game. But what I like is that, sort of like this book, they interact with the natively created creatures really well. So it's not just like, it's no fun. Everyone wants to play as Batman or everyone wants to play as Mando or something. No.
Right.
Alex wants to play as Fish Sticks.
Well, there you go.
That's awesome.
Can you get a Mandalorian jetpack, though, in this game? Can you put it on Fish Sticks? Or
you can put the Fish Stick skin, but the Mando backpack was Chapter 2, Season 5. They put the Mando boss, but you couldn't put the back bling as a back bling in your locker. You could put the Baby Yoda one as a pack.
So what you're saying is you could get the jetpack, but then when you respawned, it would be gone again.
No. You couldn't use it as a back bling.
Okay.
Right.
But the Mandalorian has an actual back bling you can use. It's the Baby Yoda one.
Oh,
That's pretty
okay.
awesome.
Oh,
But for
okay.
the back.
Now, do you, if you have a skin like the Mando skin, do you get to keep it? Can you use it across seasons?
Unless if you don't have it, and if the season battle pass ends, it's never coming back.
But if you buy it, then you get to keep it?
Yes.
But you could always be Batman if you get the Batman skin.
If you had the skin, yes.
One last thing on the Mando skin, or on this skin, because I think it works for all of them, probably like the Batman. I remember when you got the Mando skin, it was like his old armor. And then as you completed challenges, it got upgraded to his new armor.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. That's
So,
just like him getting the Beskar in the actual show. That's very cool.
Yeah, so I wonder if Batman's the same way. You get the Batman skin, and it comes like, with the broken down armor, and then as you go, he armors up.
No, it's not like that. It's different. It's a different skin.
Oh, okay.
Not selectable styles.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah.
In any case, it's time to get to our 10-cent synopsis, and that comes from Chad Smith. Again, we've been talking a lot about this particular book, but what's the actual story behind this book, Chad?
So there is a story. So it starts off with Commissioner Gordon, Batman on the roof, and there has been a rip in reality. There's something tearing at reality. And so Batman goes to investigate. And lo and behold, there's a Harley Quinn there. And she dives in. And he's like, what's going on? And then somebody kicks him in. And then before you know it, Batman and Harley Quinn and eventually Catwoman are in the Fortnite universe. Also, as Fortnite is known for going across different genres and different properties, they bring in Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe at one point. But at first it's all the same Fortnite game until Batman figures it out. And then the back half of the series is Batman and Catwoman, and they meet up with Deathstroke and a number of Fortnite characters that finally get to talk, because I don't do that in the first half. And then they try to find their way out of this whole Fortnite program. And it's just really fun to watch it all around.
We're going to be reviewing on this because, again, we wanted to be able to talk about something that's relevant for folks coming into the comic book tent. Again, I've said on this program, we want to have kids between the ages of 9 and 16 reading comic books, because that is going to continue this comic book industry forward. We got to get those kids hooked, like we were hooked in the 80s and the 90s on these certain, and licensed comic books are a great way to do that. But I won't lie that when we were like, oh, we're going to read a book about Fortnite, I was like, man, I don't know about all this. I'm an old curmudgeonly man. I'd rather play Tiddlywinks.
My lawn where I'm playing King of the Hill.
Yeah, get off my hill, kids. Just kicking all these little kids down.
I've got to mow it with my push mower.
That's right. It's getting a little too high. I'd rather play Tiddlywinks or lawn darts or something. But in essence, once I started reading this book, I really enjoyed this book. And for folks that don't know anything about Fortnite, you don't have to. You really don't need to know anything about the video game to enjoy this book, because the first half of the book is all about Batman and Catwoman in some sort of existential dilemma, fighting the same fight over and over again and losing their memories and then respawning at the beginning. It's almost like a forever war. Like if you've watched, like, I don't know, what's that Tom Cruise movie?
The Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes. Where it's like basically they can't die, and they just got to fight day after day after day. And slowly but surely, they're chipping away at the mysteries of the Fortnite universe, and they're building their plan, but they can't talk. They've got to communicate in nonverbal ways. It's really compelling.
Yeah, they give that 22-minute timer, and like once it starts again, Batman has to find the clues that he's given himself, like in Memento, and be like, oh, I need to go to these coordinates. Oh, the cat is a friend, and then she has a thing that says the bat is a friend, and all these things are planted. And it's really fun to watch that develop, for sure.
So the reason why they keep on restarting, it's because the loop, every 22 minutes, the loop will restart everything.
That's sort of how they make it like the game, right?
Yes.
Because in the game, you have 22 minutes as the storm shrinks down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and then in the second half, they eventually escape, and there's like tremendous little scenes here. Like there's one scene where like Batman and Catwoman can't escape the the loop together. One of them has to go and the other one has to stay behind. They have this touching like farewell, and Catwoman leaves and Batman's left behind to fight his forever war by himself. And that was really tugging at the heartstrings. Like, I'm like, Christos Gage, this is a comic book tie-in about Fortnite. How are you making me feel these feelings that I'm feeling? And then the second half of the book, which I honestly, I didn't think was as good. Like the last, you got that Snake Eyes issue where you're just like, yeah, that's just Snake Eyes. Like, that's just, game, respecting game there, man. It's like, hey, bros.
I loved it. All the Fortnite characters stopped to watch.
As somebody that loves G.I. Joe, Chad, was that your favorite issue?
Oh, man. I'll get into it more in depth. But yeah, it was great because what the heck is Snake Eyes doing there?
It was just bat crazy, yes.
Yeah. They just drop him in, they drop him out. It was great.
And is Snake Eyes a skin they have in the game, Alex?
Yes.
Have they had that one longer than the Batman, or is that one a fairly recent one?
The Batman collab was Chapter 1, Season 10, but for the Snake Eyes, it was Chapter 2, Season 5.
Okay.
There you go. So it's got
and
some
how many chapters and seasons are there?
For Chapter 1, it was all the way to 10, but for Chapter 2, right now it's Season 8.
Okay.
Alex, what did you think when the Fortnite characters started talking? I'm curious about that.
About talking, I was confused because you couldn't talk in the actual game. Unless you have a squad with a voice chat.
Oh.
Is that sort of what the last comics were supposed to represent? Squad tactics, where you actually talk when you're playing the game?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, because again, after the Snake Eyes issue with, the over-the-top, hey, bro, I'm holding your hand and let's flex together on the side of a mountain. It's like, all right, I don't know what this is. It was like the bro love was palpable.
It's game recognizing game inside a video game.
No, it's gamer recognizing gamer.
Then you get into, like, basically Batman escapes and, like, he still doesn't know who he is, but at least he remembers Catwoman, and Deathstroke shows up, and they have this whole squad to go figure out what the 0 point is. And Fishstick shows up. So Alex was generally happy at that point, right?
Yes.
That was like, ha-ha, there's my dude! Fishstick's my bro! Yeah, that's my bro love right there. And from there they escape, but whatever. But was there an issue that you liked more than any of the others? I mean, it ran for 6 issues, and I almost feel like each issue kind of added a little bit of a different flavor. Like the first 2 were just about Batman and Catwoman. Then you have the Snake Eyes issue. Then you have the Squad issues. Which ones were your favorites?
I would say the part where they meet the other people.
Like Deathstroke,
like the squad, or
the squad.
Okay.
Fishstick, Renegade, and the other guys.
So it picked up for you a little bit when you saw your folks from Fortnite. Like, you're like, these are the characters I play with these characters all the time. Now I'm really invested because these are my folks.
It was this part where Batman and that was my favorite part.
That full page spread where they've got all the Fortnite characters.
Yes.
And that was the moment you were like, nope, I'm cashing in now. Like, I'm on board this. Like, yes. I want to see how this ends.
That's
how
also
did you feel when fish sticks die?
I'll sign for the seconds.
R.I.P. Fish sticks. They'll bring him back with a different colored skin soon enough.
They'll bring him back because if you die, you don't die. You just fail. It's kind of like failing the test. If you die, there's a drone. We'll pick you up and then bring you back in the lobby. That's what they do.
Yeah. In Fortnite, we all respawn in the lobby.
Yes, probably what's gonna happen to Fishstick. Respawn, but in a different loop.
So J.A., what did you think as the dad that has been watching your son play Fortnite, and now you've got to read the comic book about the Fortnite? Did you pick up and Fishsticks is here? Or did you have other?
I was looking for the guy running around dressed as a Christmas tree because EJ and Alex used to play that skin all the time.
Because it was a free one.
It was because one of the free ones. Okay, that's why. Because when they were starting out in the game,
it was a free Christmas skin.
Oh, Christmas skin.
Free.
So they literally had like a hat on that was a Christmas tree. My favorite part was the beginning section where Batman didn't know what was going on and had to leave himself notes, and it kept resetting every 22 minutes, and then they can't talk, so he's writing messages out to each other on batarangs. I thought that was cool. It had that, as you said, sort of the Tom Cruise Edge of Tomorrow vibe, but it also played into Batman being the greatest detective and figuring things out and working out how do we break this cycle and loop and how do I save each other and get somebody out of it. And then the end part was tugging on the old heartstrings when Catwoman's like, we shouldn't have come back.
Yeah. Because all of that baggage and that history and while they were in the Fortnite universe, those characters just got to be the characters at their base. You know what I mean? Like, strip away all the history, strip away all the drama that these characters have built up over the years, and you're just getting back to the core of who Batman and Catwoman are. And genuinely, they are in love with each other. They are a great team, and they belong together, kind of. Again,
but when they get back,
right, then they remember everything. And they're like, nope, there's too much here. That's why we should have stayed where we were. We had a chance for a fresh start, and you didn't do it, Batman. You didn't do it.
Who knew Fortnite? Yeah, it would be so emotional.
But I think that's what you got to do with some of these books. I mean, hopefully, Alex, that you enjoyed this not only because of, again, the Fortnite characters were in it, but hopefully you enjoyed, like, the fact that, like, this is really what comic books can do. They can make you care really deeply about certain characters and, like, the relationships that folks build up over the course of even 6 issues. Because from the beginning, where Batman and Catwoman barely know each other and are leaving each other notes, to by the end, where they're like an inseparable duo, they are shipping forever. What is that? One true pairing, OTP. That's what they are. And so
I would like to point out that for us, especially for you, Andrew, it sounds like it was the Batman Catwoman that was the big emotional center. For Alex, he had to take a moment when Fish Sticks died. So, because he's got a lot more invested on the Fortnite side of things than the Batman Catwoman side of things.
But I guess my question was to you, Alex, did this make you want to read more Batman comic books? Like, did you come away from this series saying, like, I want to read more Batman comic books, or do you just want to read more Fortnite comic books?
I mean, there's more Fortnite Batman comic books coming soon.
That's true.
With the Batman who laughs.
You picked up at the end where it was like Lex Luthor was the grand mastermind behind all of this, as he wanted to start investing in data mining.
Right, because the true evil is Facebook.
Oh.
According to Epic, the true evil is Apple, but that's a whole different thing.
Ah, yes.
And you're right. The Batman Who Laughs from Scott Snyder's Metal. That's an alternate
And also
universe.
there was a big villain reveal on the last page. Who's that?
Dr. Sloan.
Yes, Dr. Sloan.
And this part, you're the one where there was a riff in the Daily Planet. That was when Superman came, season 7.
Okay.
So they riff Superman into Fortnite as well.
Did they bring anybody else from the Superman universe as well as Superman? Like they brought...
I mean, they brought Superman in the...
Did they bring Jimmy Olsen so he could die first?
Or turn into a giant turtle?
I guess I never asked. Is there a Catwoman skin in the game?
I mean, yes. Batman, Catwoman, Superman, and Deathstroke, The Flash, but
Harley Quinn, Green Lantern?
Harley Quinn, yes, that's there. Green Lantern isn't there. Joker.
Because Green Lantern sucks.
Oh, this is a kid show.
Joker is in Fortnite, same as Poison Ivy, and yeah, I think that's all I can think of.
So I just want to point out, so Poison Ivy, yes. Green Lantern, no.
Well, they've got one green character. That's all they need. What do you need, that's 6? I mean, it's not like they're going to put Martian Manhunter in there. He's
right.
That's not going to appeal to the kids at all. What they should put in there is Booster Gold. That is going to bring in the dollars.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention they also put the Batman Who Laughs in Fortnite.
Oh, there you go.
Yesterday.
Whoa.
That's a hot drop.
So Chad, let's just hold off on the Snake Eyes bit because I know that was your favorite. And you're the one who kind of was into this early on. I remember you talking about it and having codes that you were going to post on eBay for somebody to buy.
Heck yeah. No, so I come to Fortnite a little bit differently because in addition to loving comic books, I'm also an action figure collector. And since G.I. Joe for the last few years has moved up in scale from the old 4-inch scale, they make the 6-inch ones now. They don't make as many of the guys that I like. But Fortnite came out with a really super awesome action figure line. And these guys, they have like over 20 points of articulation. They come with pieces that you could build stuff out of. So you could build the forts. You can get those metal pieces or those wooden pieces that Alex was talking about earlier. And they'll sell big sets where like you can get 80 pieces and really put some awesome stuff together. And so I care nothing about the Fortnite game, but I love these action figures. And so in my own kiddo, upstairs in our toy room, he has a mix of Fortnite guys and G.I. Joes and Ben 10, all sorts of wacky stuff. And it's all in his own little universe that he plays with the toys and smashes them all together. And that's what Fortnite does too in this story. And I thought that was so awesome because Fortnite plays with all the toys. They weren't afraid to bring in Snake Eyes, from another property, from Hasbro, and plop them right in the middle of their big crossover with DC. And the other weird thing about Fortnite, this is not their first comic crossover. As astute Fortniters might know, Fortnite also appeared in the Fantastic Four issue number 24 when Marvel crossed over with Fortnite. So they show up in a little Donny Cates Thor story with a couple Fortnite characters. And so it was wild. I was really excited because, like I said, I had never played the game, but we love the action figures here in the Smith house. So when this book came out, I was pumped to read it and find out what it was. And I'll be honest, Andy's favorite point, the fact that this is Batman Catwoman love story, I was kind of down on that initially. Because I was like, it really is a Batman story. And I was pumped to learn about the Fortnite stuff. And so one of my favorite parts of those first issues was just looking at all the guys and be like, I have that toy, I have that toy. Oh, that toy's coming out next month. Oh, like seeing all the toys, that was really cool. But then upon rereading it, I definitely agree. Those first couple issues were the good part because when they get to the back half and the Fortnite characters start talking, it's cool. And it was nice to get some personality in some of those Fortnite characters. But it does take a little bit of a dip in the entertainment value. And nothing beats that point where Snake Eyes and Batman are going toe-to-toe. But yeah, if I were to offer a criticism, I would say that it's too bat-heavy. But it was so much fun. They weren't afraid to play with all the toys. The art was solid throughout. And there's so much to mine in that Fortnite universe. Sorry to use a Minecraft term. But I was really excited to see this book done and done well in a way that at the end, after the 6 issues, there was an entertaining story that people like Alex can enjoy and old fogies like me or Andy or J.A. can enjoy too.
Very cool. Well, we'll be right back with more of The Last Comic Shop and our edition of Panel Pals with Alex Scott. Right after these commercial breaks with our rating. Stay tuned.
Madison is on the air.
What happens when 20-something Madison is zapped into old-time radio shows? No technology.
I want to go to voicemail.
No Starbucks.
Don't call yourself a coffee shop if you only sell drip coffee.
And no one is PC.
I don't need no lift from...
Were you about to say woman? Because I'm wearing a gun and I have no idea how to use it.
Madison on the Air serves to highlight the way we were and the way we are today with original radio drama scripts adapted to include the modern-day Madison as she joins famous characters from radio's past, including Sergeant Joe Friday.
Just the facts, ma'am. I've never actually said that.
Marshal Matt Dillon.
We're not having a shootout with a 10-year-old kid.
I'm too woke to be a part of this.
Superman.
I didn't realize how cold it would be flying like this.
I have to get into the higher atmosphere.
And many more. Visit us on the web at MadisonOnTheAir.com or find us pretty much any place podcasts can be found.
You talk so old-timey. I have no idea what you said, but it's adorbs.
All right, we're back with more of The Last Comic Shop, and it is now time for our rating, where even though we are panel pals today, we still do our job correctly, which is always providing a 1 out of 4 scale for the comic book that we read this week in order to make sure that our fans of all ages know whether or not they should go out to their local comic book shop and pick up Batman Fortnite 0 Point. By the way, what is the 0 Point, Alex? We didn't even get to that. What's the 0 Point?
0 Point's like a energy ball, and if you go in it, you just get sent into the sky, but you can use your glider to land safely.
Oh, so it just launches you up, like into the stratus.
Yes, it makes a rift, and you drop out of it, but you can glide.
Cool, to drop on to your enemies,
yes.
Right? See, I'm already thinking as a gamer as how I would use these things to my advantage to be king of the hill. That's right. So, J.A., what is our rating scale for Batman Fortnite 0 Point?
This was very easy this week. 1 out of 4 time loops.
Let's do the time loop again. That's not
go.
a kid-friendly song.
But what is going to be kid-friendly is our rating, and we're going to start off with our special junior correspondent, Alex. So how many time loops are you giving this particular book?
So my loop rating is 3 out of 4.
Okay. And why 3 out of 4? Why did you ding it 1? What was not so perfect about this particular series?
Mostly because most of them died.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't kill fish sticks and get a 4 Fortnite.
Well, that's a perfectly good reason. That was your character. And as I've mentioned, Alex, a lot of folks come to licensed comic books like this because they're invested in those other characters. They wanted to see fish sticks. And fish sticks showed up for an issue and then took that long walk off a short pier.
So
it was now tartar sauce ahoy. All right. Well, what does Dad think of this particular book?
I loved it. I just loved the reveal of Snake Eyes, and I was like, "Ah, that's so cool." I love the fact that Harley Quinn didn't want to leave, that she thought Fortnite world was the perfect world for her. She gets to kill people, she gets to come back, she gets to dance.
It's everything she wants.
It's everything she wants. If I had to ding it at all, I would say that it got a little bit melodramatic at the end, the whole Catwoman Batman love thing. So maybe I would say it's like 3.5 time loops.
Chad, how many time loops you giving it?
I read this for a second time with the podcast, and I enjoyed it even more the second time I read it. I didn't have as many hang-ups because, like I said, I was surprised how much of a Batman story it was. But I do not have Alex's knowledge and know that Fortnite characters don't talk, so that makes a lot more sense. But no, I really enjoyed the first half, like I said. The back half, I think, did get a little talky, and I felt like the Fortnite guys just went along with Batman way too easily. So there's some critical notes there. But at the end of the day, it's these guys playing with the toys. And as somebody who sits at home with his kid and plays with the literal toys myself, I had so much fun with it. I'm going to say 3.25 time loops. I would go back again.
Okay. This isn't going to be a 4 out of 4, but there is a 4 out of 4 book in these 6 issues. It is definitely issue 2. Issue 2 of this particular series was arguably one of the best Batman Catwoman stories I ever read. Sincerely, the fact that they didn't know who they were, they had to leave all these notes, the fact that they had to respawn constantly in this immortal time trap where all they had was each other to survive. And at the end, when Batman gives up his opportunity to escape to Catwoman, I don't know, it hit all the emotional points. I've mentioned all the time that I love what if stories or Elseworlds or whatever. It encapsulated Batman and Catwoman's relationship without talking, without excess baggage from their past. It was just a story about two people trying to survive a really weird world where, honestly, their only options were to fight or die. And they kept on having to repeat that. It's just good stuff. But the rest of it, again, I'm with Chad. After issue 4 through issue 6, it kind of started getting a little too talky. Deathstroke was basically telegraphed as the bad guy, although I liked how him and Batman teamed up. So I think that's where I get it dinged. I loved the art, and I loved how it built up to the end and the appearances by the bad guys, and now they were going after Superman. I thought that was kind of neat. And I liked the melodrama with Batman and Catwoman and her wanting to stay in the universe so they didn't have to go back and deal with the fact that yeah, she left him at the altar and all this other stuff. Overall, I'm going to agree with Alex, as this is a 3. This is a 3 book. If it had been 4 issues and you didn't have as much with the talky part, maybe this would have been a little better and maybe a 3.5. But overall, I really enjoyed it. And you don't need to know much about Fortnite to enjoy just a good, solid Batman story.
Alex, do you know a lot about Batman? Have you ever read any Batman comics before?
Not a lot of Batman comic books before. I mean, I know about him, but not a lot.
You knew Batman Who Laughs, so you know a little bit of Batman at the very least.
You knew more than I did. I don't know who Batman Who Laughs is.
But yeah, so you don't need to know a lot of Batman stuff to enjoy this either. You can be a Fortnite fan.
Alex, it was great having you on. I think that you added a lot to our conversation today, and we really appreciate your time. And hopefully you'll come back to the Last Comic Shop again and join us for another edition of Panel Pals. What comic book character would you want to read a comic book on if you came back to the show?
I don't know. I mean, I don't read a lot of comic books.
But you were reading a comic book the other day.
Oh, you were reading some Tintin. Tintin is great. I really do enjoy Tintin. So, yeah, we've been wanting to do a Tintin show for a long time. So, yeah, maybe we'll read that the next time you stop by at the Last Comic Shop. Thanks so much, Alex.
I'll leave you with my dad now.
But wait, what about the recommendation? He's gone to play Fortnite. I'm not going to see him for a while.
I told you not to give him the V-Bucks until after we were done.
That's right. You don't pay the talent till they do the whole show. That's how it works. Anyways, what also works is recommendations, a time of the show where we have an opportunity to tell folks that are coming to this program because they like Fortnite about other comic books that maybe have Batman, maybe have awesome things that you can find at your local comic book shop.
That's right. We like to recommend something similar, something recent, and something a little bit out of left field or off the beaten path. So, Andy, what do you got for us this week?
Well, in the spirit of trying to, again, keep folks in the comic book tent once they've joined, right? They're coming into this show because they like Fortnite. They may know Batman from, like, everything, because Batman's everywhere. So, like, again, I want to keep folks by recommending another really good series that has Batman, which I think is all ages appropriate. Grabs you, and then it doesn't let go. And that is Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. It was done by Jeff Loeb with Ed McGuinness art. Again, you can watch this now on HBO Max. They actually animated this whole particular story, but I still recommend that you read the original comic book because it's better. It's so much better, but it's really the story about Superman and Batman being the defiant ones. Right? Lex Luthor has now become president of the United States, and as a result of like a meteor coming down and hitting the Earth, he's blaming it on his arch enemy, Superman. So he's like, all right, you got to go take down Superman. And Superman's like, you know, what else? I got my friend Batman. He's going to back me up. We know that Lex is up to no good. And so we're just going to try to stop him. And basically, Lex Luthor sends a bunch of superheroes after these two. He sends Captain Atom and John Stewart's Green Lantern and Katana and Power Girl and Hawkman and Black Lightning. He sends all these folks as kind of like almost like a DC version of Marvel's Civil War, where like they've got to come and bring Batman and Superman in because they refuse to play ball with Lex Luthor. Batman and Superman have to run away from them. They fight a lot. There's a lot of back and forth between, Batman and Superman because, again, they've still got that history. And, sometimes Batman does things that Superman doesn't really agree with and vice versa. But you can really tell that they're good friends. Jeff Loeb does a really good job with any of his books of bringing out why you should like DC characters. And he does it again here. And plus, at the end, Lex Luthor, of course, has his heel turn, and he puts on his green armor and tries to smack Superman in the chop. And so he gets his comeuppance. It's a great story from beginning to end.
And since we were talking earlier about playing with all the toys, they did make 3 3/4 inch Superman, Batman, Public Enemies toys from Mattel back in the day. Although I wouldn't recommend them because they are garbage. The plastic is garbage. It gets this weird chalky residue on it. But if you want your Fortnite guys to punch Lex Luthor, it was part of the Infinite Heroes line.
And the comic book's not garbage. Just the toys.
The comic was awesome. Ed McGuinness art, mwah.
So Chad, what's another great comic book that for these folks showing up to that comic book tent?
Okay, so I am going to go outside the box a little bit, like DC did with teaming up their biggest superstar Batman with these Fortnite characters. And one of the other cool things DC's been trying out recently are webtoons, which if people are listening to this because they like Fortnite, they might know what a webtoon is. But for some of us older fogies, this was new to me. And basically what they are, they're online comic strip. The Batman one in particular is called Batman Wayne Family Adventures. It's classified under their slice of life cartoons. So it's not necessarily action adventure, but it's all about it's lots of fun, but it is a webtoon where instead of a traditional comic book where you would read, so many panels on a page, and this, it's like, for lack of a better way to explain it, it's like a toilet paper roll where you get your first panel and then you just keep scrolling and that'll take you to the next panel and so on and so forth. And you keep scrolling until you get to the point where you've run out of episodes and then you have to wait a week for more toilet paper. And then you keep scrolling. But no, it's really fun. It's actually exposed me to the whole webtoon concept, which is something I knew I wanted to look into. But yeah, it's really cool. It's not what you would expect from Batman necessarily. As I said, it's slice of life, not action adventure. But it works. It's really great. All the Robins are great characters. Batgirl shows up. Versus all the Batgirls show up. You get the Stephanie, you get the Cassie Kane, Babs Gordon. It's really fun.
Very, very cool. And J.A., out of left field this week, we're going to be talking about a comic book that first got you a little bit interested in Batman.
I am talking about the 1990s Catwoman by Jim Balent. Beautiful artwork. This is sort of her first one. I think one of her first solo books. Started in 93. They've been collected into a couple of trades by now. You can get Catwoman Book 1 and Book 2 are both the Jim Balent Catwoman series, and I think it's like 1 through 24. And this is basically when they're trying to take Catwoman and turn her into an anti-hero, much more than sort of the Batman villain. So she starts out working for Bane, and then she's becoming more than a thief. She's turning into a bit of a hero, and I think in the later issues, it's almost like Mission Impossible. She's doing spy stuff for the government, stealing plans and then double-crossing people, all in this body-sucking purple suit with thigh-high black boots and a whip, whipping everybody, and she's got the long flowing black hair out the back. It's epic 90s comic. The 90s are not known for being the best time in comics, but there were some bat crazy type stuff, and this is one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I read that one back in the 90s too. And the Chuck Dixon stories, everybody focuses on the Jim Balent art. The stories were fun. And then it ended up going into Nightfall and all the rest of that. It was really an integral book in the Bat universe.
I shouldn't have mentioned that. You get some legends in their own right on the writing side. Joe Duffy also contributed a lot.
Yeah.
I, for one, read it for one reason alone, right?
Oh.
And if you liked our episode today with our Panel Pal segment, make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe so that you can hear some of these future shows going out to our website, www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. We've got links to all of those places where you can find our podcasts every single week, like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Pandora, Amazon Podcasts, and a variety of other places. And if you like us, Leave us an early Christmas present by leaving us a 5-star review. Put something under our Christmas tree well before Christmas rolls around. We would appreciate some kind words this holiday season.
And if you just want to have a conversation with us, you can find us on the social medias. Places like Twitter and Instagram, we're at Last Comic Shop. And on Facebook, we're at Last Comic Shop Podcast. And if you want to find any of that and more, you can go to www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com, where they can find what else, J.A.?
Links to our merch store. Now, while we don't take V-Bucks, we do take real bucks. And if you want a Last Comic Shop inspired skin, that's the perfect place to go for all of your Last Comic Shop merch. We've got shirts. We've got hoodies.
I recommend the Heather skin.
For the holiday season, be on the lookout for some special Christmas-inspired Last Comic Shop t-shirts.
That's right. We've got a holiday edition right out there, only until December 31st. So make sure that you get out to www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. Pick up your shirt. J.A. has done a tremendous job creating another classic variation of our logo, and we really hope that all of our fans pick up that special design to stuff in their stockings this year.
And while we may be the Last Comic Shop podcast, we hope we're not actually the last comic shop. And so we encourage you to head out to a shop near you. You can find one by going to the Comic Shop Locator at www.comicsshoplocator.com, where you could find things like Batman, Fortnite, 0 Point, or Catwoman by Chuck Dixon and Jim Ballant. Or perhaps you might want to pick up Batman, Superman, Public Enemies. Find all the toys and all the comics that appeal to you, and then you could play with them all together just like Batman and Fortnite do in their pink fog pools or whatever the heck's going on. I still don't understand it. We have to bring Alex back. I have a lot more questions.
All right. This was Andy Larson, the host with the most, and I was joined by Jay Scott and Chad Smith. And again, thanks so much to Alex Scott for being our junior correspondent on this week's show. And until next week, stay safe, stay sheltered, and remember, it's game over, man! It's game over! I'll see you on the other side, dude! Or in another 22 minutes, for sure!
Now that's what we need. We just need a video of Arnold doing the floss.
It's Fortnite. I'm sure they'll get there eventually. Terminator.
Predator.
Kindergarten Cop.
Commando.
It's not a tumor.
Jingle all the way!
Ho, 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 ho. The Last Comic Shop was a 2021 Black Angus production.